All right, Kahalayim, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem Kakodash, double honors to the apostles, elders, and bishops of Great Millstone who rule well over the flock of Israel. Shalom and salutation to you, Akim, out here that push the words of truth and sincerity. Shalom to all the elect, Akim, Akwa, scattered Israelites, Israelite foreigners. I'm Rapal Math. I brought this video is edifying. And today's title, dare I say, is the last remaining way that the nation of Edom can be saved. All right. And as you get into the scriptures, as you search the scriptures, and you look throughout the scriptures, there's only one last remaining way that an Edomite can be saved. If you could think of the answer, I give you credit, kudos. Some of you already got the answer. I got the answer for somebody else, right? And so I'm just going to go on with the scriptures and reveal to you why this title is even called the only or the last remaining way an Edomite can be saved. All right. The nation of Edom, for those that don't know, so-called Caucasian people today. All right. That's their race, their lineage, their nation, their nationality. All right. Us Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, we derive from the children of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. That's a stock. That's a line. That's our nationality. All right. And so Daniel's the 7th chapter, as we know, Edom, all right, or the Caucasian race today, they rule the world. All right. Even though they pay taxes like us, and a lot of them is caught, some of them are locked up and unfortunate. I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about the rulers and the elite class of the world, the ruling elites of this world, from everybody in the trillionaires and up club, the bankers and up club. Okay. And the scriptures basically make a threat to their existence and a threat to their rulership by introducing the second coming of Yahushua, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, and his job and his title being that he's going to be the King of Kings. It references kings of kings or prince of kings and princes of princes, and that he will rule. And the Bible prophesies that Yahushua is going to come back and take down all nations and people. So he becomes now the nation of Edom's biggest threat. Right? Now, let's say Yahushua comes back, and that's that. But the Bible, the scriptures also prophesy of a doom to the nation of Edom, a doom and a destruction of the entire nation, something that we've never seen before since nationalities began. All right, we've always had nations striving with us, but for the first time in history, all right, it's been prophesied, and it will happen that an entire nation will get wiped out. So I'm gonna just go through the scriptures, and we're gonna reveal some of these things through prophecy. I'll do an edifying job. This is Daniel's 12 verse 13. Salaki. Daniel 7 and 13. A little dyslexic. The Son of Man presented is the title here. It says, I saw in the night vision, and behold, one like the Son of Man came. That's Yahushua, the Son of Man. All right, that's who the world calls Jesus Christ. This is his return. It says, with the clouds of heaven, and came to the Ancient of Days, and they brought him near before him. So he's seeing a vision. This is Daniel, the prophet. And there was given him dominion and glory and a kingdom, that all people, nations, and languages should serve him. His dominion is an everlasting dominion which shall not pass away, and his kingdom that which shall not be destroyed. So right off the top, Daniel gets a vision that the Son of Man, right, the second coming, in his second coming, he'll be given all dominion, all right, and rulership of the nations of the world. And they'll all have to obey him and serve him. Okay? That's contrary to the New World Order plan. That's contrary to the ruling elites, what they want for themselves. Let's go on. The book of Revelations, the 19th chapter. We're going to start here at verse 11, where it says the coming of Christ. We know that word Christ means anointed. All right. In the Greek, it's Christos, anointed one. All right. That's on one of his titles. It says here, the rider on the white horse. That's the NLT on the left, on the right, the KJV on the left. Reading from the KJV, and I saw heaven open, and behold, a white horse. So we're talking about the skies opening up, and John the Revelator's vision is of the heavens opening, and a white horse. A horse symbolizes power, white symbolizes purity, right? And he that sat upon him was called faithful and true. So Yahushua is sitting upon this white horse, which is these chariots that he's coming back down upon. All right. We all know, you should know by now, that these so-called UFOs are the vehicles that angels ride around in. That's why they're able to do these unhuman, gravity defying feats, because the spirit of the Lord is within these ships as these angels drive them around. The father ship is going to come down with Yahweh Shah being in it, who is also called faithful and true. All right, he's faithful, he's loyal to his father. He came to do his father's job. And the Lord said, he even repeated that if you're faithful over little, you'll be faithful over much later on, and he can reward you, even if you're faithful over what he gives us. So he gives us his faith, and we're faithful with it. We're loyal with it. We do what responsible people do with when somebody bestows presents and gifts to you. All right, you treat them well, like a good servant. And when that time comes, we'll be rewarded with more gifts. Right. So the Lord is the author and finisher of our faith. He's the chieftain and the captain of where we understand this idea of faith from, and how to truly be loyal. Faith and loyal coexist. They're one and the same. And true, right? Every words that proceed out of his mouth is truth. It says, in righteousness doth he judge and make war. So he's not just coming back to pass out roses and sit on hilltops and ride upon asses' colts anymore. All right. He's not coming back to get in the ring with some UFC fighting UFC 777 or do some acrobatic miraculous feats. He's coming back to judge and make war. All right, that's why they call it Judgment Day. They refer to that day as Judgment Day in the scriptures. And make war with who? Edom and all nations that will rise up against them in this third world's war, and that will rise up against him in this intergalactic war to come. His eyes were as a flame of fire, and on his head were many crowns, and he had a name written that no man knew but he himself. And he was clothed with a vesture dipped in blood, and his name is called the word of Yahweh. Dipped in blood, referring to him coming back to attack. That's why he's coming with armies, as you read down. It tells you. And then gives him this name, or this title, King of Kings and Lord of Lords. He's coming down to destroy those and wage war against, as it says here, the beast and the false prophet. Verse 20 says, and the beast was taken, and with him the false prophet. All right, we know that beast is NATO and the EU, that structure that Esau governs the world with and makes war with the world with, threatens the world with, with war, and takes away peace with, that beast, which is a modeled after the Roman Empire, and the false prophet being the Vatican. All right, or the Roman Catholics, Roman Catholicism. All right, that's that false prophet. It says that wrought miracles before him, which he deceived them that had received the mark of the beast. All right, this is going into that the major pushing of this MOTB that's about to be released, in which you won't be able to buy or sell. All right, your new currency will be implantable device. Right, so it all ties in with the beast and Yahushua returning at the right appropriate time to wage war against the beast. All right, it says, and them that worship the image. And that image is obviously the beast taken after the first image, which was the Roman Empire. All right, all of its laws, all of its statutes, a lot of its orders, Senate houses and Congress, and how things are the legislative system and judicial system. It all goes back to the image before it of the Roman Empire. It says, these were both cast alive into the lake of fire, burning with brimstone. So they'll be destroyed in this third world's war. All right, that'll be the apex of what Yahushua is returning to deliver his elect out of. All right, so we're getting closer to the topic here. This is all the premise, but getting closer to the topic again. There's truly only one way the nation of Edom can be saved, because we can see now that the Lord is coming back to destroy those that will not have him rule over them. So you should be getting closer to maybe forming an answer now. If not, hold tight. This is the book of Revelations 14:8. It says, and there followed another angel saying, Babylon is fallen, the great city, because she made all nations drink of the wine of the wrath of her fornication. Right? And it says in the NLT, the wine of her passionate immorality. So Babylon is, or Mystery Babylon in the scriptures, is America. All right, which is also falling. And you can see it start to fall now. You can see it circling the drain. Its economy is dwindling. You got the USA spending more money. They said if you spent $500,000 since the time the pyramids was built up until this day, you wouldn't spend more money than the United States has spent in the last 3 or 4 years. So the economy and the budget of America is all the way out the window. All right. Scripture says that she shall, that I bought you that debt, no man could basically heal. You can't heal that debt that America's in. So Babylon is fallen, and her job was to make the nations drunk. This is one of the main tactics of Edom, to deceive, be deceitful, passive wine and cups of immorality for the nations around her to drink. When you go into Revelation 18:1, it says, and after these things I saw another angel come down from heaven, having a great power, and the earth was lightened with his glory. And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the great is fallen, and is become the habitation of devils, and the hold of every foul spirit, and a cage of unclean and hateful bird, of every unclean and hateful bird. For all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication. Again, NLT says passionate immorality. America is caused through democracy. All right, all of the nations to passed around this cup of fornication to these nations. Fornication implies it's immorality. It's philosophies that are ungodly, that are unholy. All right, including the alphabet people. All right, including war, including murder, including YOLO, do what thou wilt, so forth and so on. And that's why I'll become a habitation of devils. That word devils goes into you see his demons in the NLT, but it's going into these different creatures, right? They got a creature called a Tasmanian devil, for instance. That doesn't mean it's an actual devil. It's these creatures. It goes along with the hold of every foul spirit and cage of unclean and hateful birds. So all these vultures and birds that dwell in deserts are also going to inhabit this place, because it's going to be destroyed. This is post-apocalyptic America, where it's a desert with creatures dwelling here. All right. For all the nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her, and the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies. And that points out that we must be referring to America. This is a place where nations get rich. Hence, all the nations that come over here to make money and make merchandise of this place. That's what America has been to these people. All right. A place where you can make money off of it, where you can get fat off of it, where you can get rich off of it. All right. And that's why they're going to be howling and crying and weeping, because they can't make that money off of it anymore. Let's continue. This is Numbers 18 and 15. Now we getting into the spicy stuff. And he took up his parable and said, Balaam, the son of Beor, hath said, and the man whose eyes are open hath said. He hath said, which heard the words of Yahweh, and knew the knowledge of the Most High, which saw the vision of the Almighty, falling into a trance, but having his eyes open. I shall see him, but not now. I shall behold him, but not nigh. There shall come a star out of Jacob. All right, Jacob is the progenitor of the 12 tribes of Israel. That star is is giving respect and credence to the name or the prestige of a person. All right, singled out, a star out of Jacob. That's referencing Yahweh Shah, of course. He's that star out of Jacob. And a scepter shall rise out of Israel. That's Yahushua, of course. And shall smite the corners of Moab and destroy all the children of Sheth. So this star and this scepter is going to do what scepters do. Is going to beat down and strike and demolish and destroy these other nations and put them into subjection. Verse 18, and Edom shall be a possession. So right off the back, you know, Edom is going to be enslaved. It says in the NLT, taken over. Seir also shall be a possession for his enemies, and Israel shall do valiantly. So we always go into, once Yahushua gets back, he's going to put our enemies and the kings of this earth, Edom, into slavery. And they're going to serve out 1,000 years. Then it's going to be, they get wiped out. All right, eternally. Out of Jacob shall come he that shall have dominion. We read about that in Daniel's. This goes hand in hand with what we read in Daniel's, what we read in Revelations. Even in Revelations, the first chapter, it tells you that he's the King of Kings, the Prince of the Kings. Out of Jacob shall come he that shall have dominion, and shall destroy him that remaineth of the city. And when he look on Amalek, Amalek being a progenitor of the people who call themselves Jews today, he took up his parable and said Amalek was the first of the nations, which they are now. That's how they are in status. You know, the main elites are not, let's say, your average Joe Edomite. The main elites are of the lineage of Amalek, which is so-called Jews today. Those are the ones who are really ruling things and running America and running the shows behind the scenes. So they're the first of the nations. But his latter end shall be that he perish forever. All right. And so the Most High is going to rule them out and destroy those people forever. This is Isaiah 34:5. It says, and my sword shall be bathed in heaven. Behold, it shall come down upon Idumea. As you can see, the NLT already changed it over. The Greek way of saying Edom is Idumea. So the sword bathed in heaven is symbology of the nukes that detonate. That's a sword. A sword is an instrument of death and cruelty. And a gun is a sword. And they used the Gatling gun to obtain America and possess this place and rape and rob the natives for this land. Now that sword that came out of the creation of Oppenheimer and different physicists and scientists, nuclear scientists, is going to be bathed in heaven, right? Because that's where the blast takes place, in the sky. It says, and upon the people of my curse to judgment. So now we can understand that Edom is a cursed nation, the people, going back to their progenitor in the spirit, which was Cain. Cain, remember, was given a mark. He was cursed with a mark. All right, the mark of Cain. Okay, that the nations and he would be a vagabond and a fugitive throughout the earth, and the nations would seek to kill him. It says, the sword of the Lord is filled with blood. It is made fat with fatness and with the blood of lambs and goats. And now you can see the idea of why Esau wants and desires salvation, but can't receive it, because it's already in his destiny to be destroyed. It says, the sword of the Lord is filled with blood. It is made fat with the fatness and with the blood of lambs and goats. And this is all symbology, because lambs and goats were used for atonement of sins and sacrifice. All right. Lamb of no blemish, based upon the laws of the Torah. And it just symbolizes that this nation Edom has now replaced that sacrifice. They will be the sacrifice. It says, and with the fat of kidneys and rams, for the Lord hath a sacrifice in Basra. Basra signifies Edom, because it's one of the chief cities in Edom when you look it up. It says, in a great slaughter in the land of Idumea. So the land of Idumea is anywhere that Edom dwells. All right, mainly here in Babylon, America. This place will be a land of slaughter, where people, including men, women, and children, old and young, will be sacrificed. Thus saith the Bible. As you can see here, he will make a mighty slaughter in Edom. And the unicorn shall come down with them, and the bullocks with the bulls, and their land shall be soaked with blood, and their dust made with the fatness. All right. Isaiah 49:16. This is just, again, building the concept around that the nation of Edom cannot be saved in all these various ways in which the church will have you believe in Christianity, or street apologists like vocab will have you believe. But they'll run from scriptures like this that point out that Edom is just to be desolate. They're a nation that was created to do wickedly, that the spiritual demon Satan can utilize to bring about an unruly, uncivilized way of life, where nations will be drunk with wickedness, and how, what not to do ever again. They're used as an example of what not to do, how not to mess with the Heavenly Father or his people, as the Edomites did when they came to this land, America, and when they enslaved the true biblical Israelites on cargo slave ships from West Africa all the way down to Central and South America. Jeremiah 49:16, thy terribleness hath deceived thee in the pride of thine heart, O thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock. You're dealing with rocks, you're dealing with rock climbers, you're dealing with cavemen, you're dealing with Edomites, so-called white people today. And they call that land the Caucasus Mountains, from where they got their name from. In that land is also an area called Petra. I believe it might be in Jordan, but this is something that when the Edomites would dwell in, they dwelt in those caves and made homes of them on the clefts of the rock. It's pointing them out about their habitat, and how they have pride, the pride of their heart. These are the proud, uplifted and pride people. All right, they're proud about destroying other nations. They're proud about shedding blood. Christopher Columbus still has a holiday in this country because they're proud of the blood that he shed. He was a vicious murderer. All right. So it says that holdest the height of the hill, meaning he's on top right now. He's at the top. The height of the hill means you're in power. Though thou makest thy nest as high as the eagle. What's America's symbol? It's the eagle. What's Rome's symbol? The eagle. All right. What was Germany's symbol? The eagle. This is the unanimous symbol of Esau, is the eagle. All right. It goes about because the eagle is the highest soaring bird. So its pride is given because it can see everything. It's eagle eye is a term because the eagle's strength in his eye is able to see everything happening on the ground from miles above. Just like America can scope out everything about you from the heavens, even with their satellites and so on. So they're even literally nesting in the heavens with satellites and whatnot. I will bring thee down from thence, saith the Lord. So all that high and lofty spirit can be brought down. The higher you think you are, the farther you got to drop. All right. The taller they are, the harder they fall, or the bigger they are, harder they fall. That's Esau. He's just the next Pharaoh that lined up for the example. Verse 17, also Edom shall be a desolation. So once again, when you think about this name, Edom, incorporate with these people who are ruling today and know that their nation is going to fall and become desolate. Desolate don't just means destroyed, it means wiped out completely. Right? I believe is where you get the word dissolve. When something dissolved, I mean, it doesn't even exist no more. It ceases to exist. Everyone that goeth by it shall be astonished and shall hiss at all the plagues thereof. And hiss means, as you see in NLT, gasp when they see, shot out of shock what happened to that great city, Babylon, America, and the Edomites who ruled the world. It says, as in the overthrow of Sodom and Gomorrah and the neighboring cities. And once again, we have Sodom and Gomorrah as a chief example of how not to live your life. Those Sodomites were known to be sexual, immoral people, dealing with everything you find today in this alphabet people. That was going on in Sodom, and the Lord overthrew them with fire. So, as in the overthrow, meaning the same way, just like Sodom and Gomorrah went out with fire in the neighboring cities, saith the Lord, no man shall abide there, neither shall son of man dwell in it. So the Lord's going to completely uproot Basra and Edom. Now, let's get to the final product here. The title of the video from the beginning was what was the only thing that in the nation of Edom can do to be saved? What is the only thing that the nation of Edom can do to be saved or to save themselves? Because Hebrews 12:16 says, lest there be any fornicator or profane person as Esau. So it's reminding us that there's a man named Esau, all right, who is a profane person and a fornicator. So he was immoral, it says in the NLT, immoral and godless like Esau. And that's how they are today. That's their attributes today. They're really immoral and godless, but they pretend to be moral and godly. It says, who for one morsel of meat sold his birthright. Read that again. Who for one morsel of meat sold his birthright. For you know that afterward, when he would have inherited the blessing, that's what came with the birthright. This is how the ancient world did things. The firstborn had the birthright. Now you get the inheritance, and the secondborn might get less than you, but you get the best of the inheritance. Well, Esau sold that. That's that profane person. He would have inherited the blessing. He was rejected, for he found no place of repentance, though he sought it carefully with tears. Esau can never get the blessing. The blessing now that was laid out for him was given to his younger brother, who he sold his birthright to, Jacob. And Jacob now has the blessings. Who Jacob? The 12 tribes of Israel today, you Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, whether you know it or not, the blessing of our forefathers Abraham and Isaac was bestowed upon us. So now we will have the fatness of the earth. We will be kings and joint heirs with the Yahushua. The Lord is coming back to deliver us, the star that rose out of Jacob, to take down the nation of Edom and all these other nations, is of our lineage. He is of our stock. We are technically his brother, and he is our savior at the same time. And when you believe in him, you can receive that salvation. He didn't come to deliver all these other nations. He came to deliver his people Israel, who are a scattered people right now based upon the curses of the Bible. So we're scattered and found amongst every region of the world and nation of people, but the bloodline is still Israelite through the father's seed. And just to answer the question, the way in which an Edomite, the only way in which Edom could ever be saved is time travel. That's the answer. I know you might have been waiting for something a lot deeper than that. That's as deep as it gets, because time travel is the only answer that Esau could ever have to get that birthright back. See, once upon a time, his forefathers sold that birthright. And when you sold that birthright, you sold yourself into slavery under Yahushua, and you sold yourself into destruction. And even though you have the world now, you're going to lose that power. And we just read about how the Lord's going to come back and make sure that happens. The Father, the Heavenly Father, Ancient of Days, in Daniel's the 7th chapter, gave possession to his son, the Son of Man, Yahushua, so that he can possess the earth and the world and make everyone serve him. So you will be a slave in the kingdom of heaven for a period of time and then be wiped out. Now, to prove that, Esau wishes that he can have time travel is the amount of movies. And I can't make this up. I just seen this. It says by Esad. That's close enough, man. EUSAD. Yeah, he said, all right. Top 100 time travel movies. Back to the Future. I wonder why Edomite want to go back to the future. What's back there? Terminator 2, Judgment Day. I wonder why Judgment Day is on his mind. Terminator 1, great movies. Butterfly Effect. Obviously, Akim, I don't have to say it. Go check these movies out. Back to the Future Part 2, 12 Monkeys, Groundhog Day, Avengers Endgame, X-Men, Days of Future Past, Interstellar, big movie about trying to change the past. Predestination, Mirage, Palm Springs, Midnight in Paris, Time Crimes, Edge of Tomorrow, good movie about, it says live, die, and repeat. A good movie about time travel. About Time, The Time Traveler's Wife, Back to the Future 3, Time Sweep, Star Trek. Brothers is big into Star Trek. Flight of the Navigator, Rewind. All right, Men in Black, Source Code, good one. That's a good one too. The Time Machine, 1960. Idiocracy, 12 Dates of Christmas, 1201. Come on. I ain't got to name them. They're all here. So you see, Esau is desiring to go back in time. And it's not just to make sure that Trump never got in office. No. He want to go back in time a little farther than that. It's not just to make sure that the Emancipation Proclamation was saved. No. He want to go farther than that. He want to go past the Roman Empire. He don't want to just make sure that Julius Caesar wasn't there to die that day. He want to go back further. He don't want to go back to Alexander the Great or Antiochus Epiphanes. He wants to go back to Jacob and Esau. And if he can get Esau, if he could just scream or knock a fruit or drop a meal in front of Esau before he went back and sold his birthright to his brother for that red pottage, uncooked meat, if he could just go back in time and change that, maybe, just maybe, he could save himself. Now, this concept might be wild, and shout out to the elder Aram, where this idea actually came from. I never even considered the time travel thing as much until he pointed it out. If Esau could only go back in time and change those events, maybe, just maybe, in his mind, he would never have sold that birthright. So we all know that's not gonna happen. They got the machine right now that spins around really fast and tries to create some type of portal. Esau is in space looking for a black hole. That's why they traveling, search for black holes. Maybe they could shift time somehow, some way. Hydrogen collider, something like that. That's what they got here on Earth. But they searching for the time. They searching for a way to reverse time. All right. So I brought this out. This video is edifying. Leave it at that. Till next time. Shalom.